Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Conrad, how are you doing? You know, it's April as we're airing this, which means spring is here.
Yes.
Which means a lot of great things. Hopefully, we'll get a springtime that's continuing to open up some things. So I feel pretty good today. I feel great. I feel wonderful. It's great being with you. It's great going back and revisiting some of our great stuff.
What it is great is that it's, as you said, it's springtime and everybody's got their allergies in high gear. You're old. You got any allergy problems this time of year?
No, I've never had that. Isn't that odd? But I've got allergies from other things like penicillin, bee stings, some other codeine, things like that. But as far as allergies from pollen, it's never bothered me. Isn't that very, very weird?
So let's talk through that. You're allergic to penicillin, which means you once got too much stank on your hang low, and now you have an allergic reaction to it. And you also said codeine. So you once drank too much lean with Lil Wayne at a Braves game, and now you have an allergy there. Is that right?
If you want to put it that way, I had an allergic reaction to penicillin back when I was like, I don't know, 7, 8 years old.
Do they have to hit it with a mallet? No. I hear that they used to have different methods back then. I'm just asking.
No.
Okay.
So that's the only allergies I got. I recently got my first shot of the vaccine.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And they asked me, you had to fill out this form, what you're allergic to. And I put all these things that I was allergic to down. And because of that, you have to wait 30 minutes for them to observe you before you're able to leave. And I had no reactions. Everything was great. So there you go.
My parents just got their first dose as well. So
yeah, that's good.
High fives all around.
High fives all around. I'm so glad. I feel of all the bad things that they go on to this country, as we know, this country is getting ready to fold up shop.
What? Wait. Why are you saying that?
Because it is.
You've been hanging out with Lois too much.
No, not at all. As getting ready to fold up shop, regardless of that, it's great to see that we have scientists and medical technicians and people within a year coming out with something to prevent us from getting the virus. So that makes me feel good. Other than that, this country's going bye-bye. But that's okay. It's been good. It's been a great run. I was part of it for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's good.
How's Tony feeling about the NFL folding up shop and AEW being no more?
Oh, I didn't say they were. I said the country was.
Well, I mean, if there's no country, there's.
Well, there are going to be states.
Okay.
It's not going to be a country.
Boy, you really got your tinfoil hat on this morning. Let's talk about wrestling. We got a few days left here with the WWE Network. Through some grace of God miracle, it's still working for both Tony and I, and we hope it's working for you because we've had a blast watching week by week from 1986. But as Tony is saying about America, apparently, all things must come to an end.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if Tony is getting his information these days from the Kremlin. We'll talk about that a little later. But we've still got the network for now. So we're all systems go. People are blowing me up online, though, saying, hey, when this goes away, what are you going to do? Tony, give them some ideas of some things we've sort of kicked around about what we might be doing next.
Well,
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, we're prepared. It has snuck up on us, and we're going to do our best to entertain you here today. Today, we're going to be watching the April 5th edition of World Championship Wrestling. So if, both of you guys who still have the network, fire it up, click on in ring, and you want to go over until you see World Championship Wrestling, select 1986 from the drop down. April 5th is where you want to be. And we've got 1 hour and 26 minutes on a runtime. And Tony, from what I understand, we've got a special countdown today.
We have a special countdown. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to every superstar out there, every star out there who has joined in to 2 weeks ago, we had Sammy Guevara. Last week, we had Eddie Kingston. We always come up with a surprise, and they're always willing to help us out, which we appreciate.
You come out here, brother, you talk about all the things that you got and what you're going to do. But it wasn't too long ago, Ric Flair, all these nice people right here stood behind you and made you what you are today. Now, without these people out here, you're nothing and I'm nothing.
Are you trying to tell me that when your name is Ric Flair and you're the world champion, that you got to have a whole building full of people to carry on? Wherever I go, I don't care if they love me or hate me because I love myself and I know that I'm the best there is.
I mean, in fairness, Ricky Morton was kind of doing a heel move there, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Ricky always talked like a heel, didn't he?
You think so?
Oh, the way the cockiness and the confidence, that he portrayed, he never healed on anybody, but he had that heel. I don't know.
I'm just saying, he was saying, without these people, you ain't nothing. That's fine. Right. That's babyface move. But pulling the dude's sunglasses off and stomping them, that's kind of a heel move. Speaking of heels, here's two.
Wrestling, I'm David Crockett. This is Tony Schiavone. Tony, I loved it when Ricky Morton took those glasses and stomped it.
Obviously, Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, even Robert Gibson, they're not going to be intimidated by the heavyweight champion of the world. David, but a lot going on here today in the world of wrestling.
That's right, because the cup is getting closer. And as that road gets shorter to New Orleans, it gets harder on a lot of wrestlers. There's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. One man who has a lot of pressure is Ron Garvin, because many people feel that he is a man deserving of a title. And, of course, he has chased Ric Flair around for many months after that world heavyweight title. And today, Ron Garvin gets a chance to get that world TV title away from Arn Anderson because we have re-signed.
That's a rematch.
I'll tell you what, not to interrupt you two illustrious gentlemen, but you come out here on national television and waste the people's time talking about Ronnie Garvin, the man that is this much short of Ric Flair, this much short of Tully Blanchard, and of course last week, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, came this much short of beating Arn Anderson, and you want the rematch. Well, Ronnie Garvin is not what's happening in professional wrestling, so quit talking about him and Dusty Rhodes, because those two together are the top contenders for more belts, but they don't have nothing to show for their capabilities. Is my right or wrong?
Let's draw a little distinction here, because we got two types of individuals. We have chasers and we have catchers. This man over here is one of the catchers, as you can see, because he has the prize in his hand.
Their instinct is what it is.
Mr. Garvin has a tendency to be a chaser, and I think he'll be a chaser all his life because, as Mr. Blanchard so eloquently put it, he's always this close to getting there, and I fail to see why he's going to be given another opportunity today on national television.
And we get to see another chaser in just a few minutes. But I tell you one thing, JJ, right here on national TV, the great job you've done, baby. 2 round-trip tickets to Paris. Have a good week.
Hey.
Quite a reward there.
That's right.
Okay. You heard it. We have re-signed Ron Garvin, Arn Anderson for the World TV title. What's going on with Pistol Pez Wally? We'll talk about that and much more right here today. Let's go to the ring.
Because in the ring.
So we got Wahoo taking on a very young Big Boss Man here.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen a ton of Wahoo. He's popped up in recent weeks, but so far for the year, we haven't seen very much Wahoo in this first quarter of the year. But as we're cruising into April, here he is in our first match on the show, and we've got what's going to be a big star in professional wrestling, but we've seen Ray Traylor take his licks from the Midnight Express and, of course, famously from Tully Blanchard. And now it's his turn to see what he can do with old Wahoo here.
I'm trying to remember where Wahoo was early in the year.
They were showing a lot of clips in the video package from Florida.
Right.
Him against Brody, him against Flair down there. So it makes me think he was probably working for Eddie Graham down there.
Right. He also had in 1985 when Magnum T.A. had won the U.S. title off of him on an episode of Worldwide. It's a very famous episode that I talk about where Wahoo was drop kicked. The chair hit him in the head. Magnum drop kicked the chair. Wahoo picked it up to hit Magnum. Magnum drop kicked it, and it cut Wahoo's forehead and sliced open his forehead. He had to go to the hospital, of which I was the person to bring him home. And he was a heel back then. He and Tully had been a very good tag team in 1985. And he became the U.S. heavyweight champion, became a heel, and was a damn good heel because Wahoo could do anything. And he kind of worked heel anyway, really rough and rugged and chop. And as you can see right there. So that's pretty much going to be chronicled in one of the bonus episodes of our graphic novel coming up that night with Wahoo. But so here he comes back as a babyface after he had been a heel near the end of the year. So he left when he lost the U.S. title, as we said, went to Florida, and now he's back here again. But, obviously Wahoo is in the, I don't know if it's the complete end of his career, but, he's been wrestling for a long time.
He's winding it down. By the way, I do want to mention Eddie Graham actually passed away in 85, but I do know that those clips were from Florida. But Wahoo was all over the place. I think the thing that we want to drive home is this is still, I know we're in the dying days of the territories, but there still are territories. Paul Bosch is still running. I know that he did wrestle against Bruiser Brody, I believe, at the Battle of the Belts 2 in February that year. And that was back when Brody had Gary Hart in his corner, that whole deal. So even though Eddie Graham had passed away, Florida was still a territory. So was Don Owen. So was Paul Bosch. There's still territories. We're still in the dying days of them, but Bill Watts is still running. Vern Gagne is still running. So there are other territories. It's not yet quite strictly WWF versus NWA.
Right. And we're also, because we're in April here of 86, we're also heading towards WrestleMania 3, right?
2. So
86 was 2?
We're right around the same time as WrestleMania 2. And I think famously there were some other opponents considered for WrestleMania 2. Nikita Koloff would say that he had opportunities to go and face Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 2. And also Bruiser Brody was another name that was thrown about. And I don't think that Bruiser would have probably ever done business with Vince McMahon for an extended period of time.
Right.
It feels like Brody had a reputation at times, for better or worse, for holding up promotions and saying what he would do and what he wouldn't do. And that only works for so long for Vince McMahon.
Well, obviously it was, if you believe all the stories, let's go to this.
Well, things are about as heated up with Nikita Koloff as I can stand, I've had to listen to him come out here and talk for weeks and weeks, months on end, it seems to me. And I got a little bit tired of hearing all that talk. Actions do speak a lot louder than words, Nikita. And you've been talking about what you would do when you get the opportunity. Well, I got an opportunity here just a little while ago when we got a piece of VTR film. I want all the people out there to see it because this really expresses my true feelings toward Nikita Koloff, and I think the film will be self-explanatory.
Let's take a look at what he's talking about.
This could be it. Free call. And we have a free call. And continues to pound away. Nikita with his shot. What's he doing? He's after the chain. He's got that Russian chain. And he's going to run the chain all day. Big.
Yikes.
We've seen that scene before, Magnum, but never with Nikita Koloff hanging over the ropes.
Well, Nikita Koloff, maybe now you know where I'm coming from. That chain fits around your neck just as good as it will mine. Now, Russian chain man, this is the thing you're supposed to be frightening me with, intimidating me with. Well, nothing is going to intimidate me. This is what it's all about. This is what's pushed this confrontation to a head. And if it's a Russian chain match, that's just fine. They make steel right here in the good old US of A too, and I can handle it just fine. Remember real well what it felt like when I choked up on that chain, because I'll never forget it, and I'll get the opportunity to do it again. Let's get it on.
All right, Magnum T.A. We'll see Joe, Nighthawk, Coltrane, and much more right after this.
Dude, I've become a Magnum T.A. fan watching this series.
Oh, man.
How about that reaction from that crowd? That crowd was white hot isn't probably strong enough of a descriptor. And boy, we've seen this fella a little bit lately. And speaking of the opposite of white hot, here's Nighthawk taking on
Tony Zane,
a stupid ass Stan, Miss Cleo here.
Yeah.
Nighthawk, man, we've seen some promos. Now we're seeing him in the ring.
Yeah,
I understand the idea behind having a guy who looks like this. Not only is he an imposing looking figure, he's a big dude, he's in good shape, he's got a good look, but he's also African American. And you're trying to sell tickets, and you know that Bill Watts has absolutely set his territory on fire with the Junkyard Dog. You've got Pistol Pez Watley here. Eventually, we're going to see Ron Simmons come in, but right now we've got the Nighthawk experiment. And although he may check a lot of boxes, boy, promos are not one of them.
No.
But we still get questions about him. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've had questions on Arn's show about Nighthawk. Do you have any Nighthawk stories you can share with us at all?
I don't, with the exception of, I do remember this. I remember we talked about his promos, about him doing promos, and he would ask me many times, did you think that sounded okay? And I said, and I tried to be as polite as I could. And I said, yeah, you probably do need to do some work, and you probably should, check with someone other than me, because I don't do promos. I just kind of hold the microphone for you. And I was, he was a gentleman, and someone like him who would always, who would ask me now today, here 100 years later, I can give you some advice on doing promos, but back in 1986, I really couldn't.
What would your advice be these days?
My advice these days would be to do this. My advice would be to look in the fucking camera, and Nighthawk, Coltrane didn't do that a lot. He looked at me. I said, don't talk to me, talk to the people. And that's what all the great ones did. And you see Jimmy Garvin doing that. You see right now, Jimmy Garvin will kind of reference me a little bit, but he'll talk to the camera.
Right.
And that's how you got to do it. And it's oddly enough, Magnum T.A. and I have talked about this. As a matter of fact, when Magnum came to I guess it was the second Starrcast in Vegas.
Yeah.
He and I talked about doing promos. And Magnum said, you have to look in the camera. He said, but not only look in the camera, look through the camera and talk to the person watching the show. And he said, that's what I always try to do. I always try to focus on that. And Magnum focused on that more than anybody else. And he was very good at that. So that's what I would say. I would say, don't talk to me, talk to the people. And try to get the people to identify with you. And Night Train didn't do that. He looked at me, and then he just kind of referenced the camera. He did the complete opposite. And then I would just tell them to start out being yourself and build on it. Perfect example. is Eddie Kingston.
Oh yeah, Eddie Kingston's the best one of the best promos in wrestling,
and that's because he looks in the camera, he talks to the people or whomever's watching, and he is who he is. Ric Flair was who he was. He has his personality be part of his persona, big part of his persona. So that's what advice I give him today. And I do listen to a number of promos, and I do give advice. But back then, no, when they asked me for advice, I would hand it off to someone else.
Sure. That's been well established. There you go. This is going to be straight fire. Let's go. It's Manny Fernandez.
Buddy, stop by to join us right here on World Championship Wrestling.
Toda la gente de San Antonio, el corazón va a venir para atrás. El 22 de mayo va a venir el toro.
The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. Now let's go to the ring.
That's how you do a promo.
You're damn right. He was talking to Dave Silva there.
Shout out to Silva, by the way. His son Aaron kicked out at 2.5. He came through his heart surgery. It was a glowing success. So
that is tremendous.
Glad to hear that.
Right. I'm glad you guys smart me up to all this stuff.
Well, we wished him well as we closed the show down the other day. You just forgot you got busy promoting your book over at buttsandseatscomic.com, which is now 5 times what the original request was. Look at you, you over son of a bitch, you.
I ain't over.
You ain't over. You drew 5 times you set a goal and you blew it out of the water by 5 times. Sort of like, hey, Lois, what if we had 1 kid? Next thing you know, there's 5 of them little motherfuckers running around. That's just what you do. You're Mr. 5X.
That's kind of the way it happened.
not in a Matt Coon way, in a Tony Schiavone way.
By the way, how is hey, I want to go back and touch on something that we kind of touched on.
Okay. A lot of touching.
A lot of touching. I never worked with Bruiser Brody.
Oh, really?
He never worked with the Crockett's. At least he never worked with the Crockett's while I was there.
Right.
And I know he had quite a reputation.
Oh, yeah.
But I always thought, even back then, because I had known, who Bruiser Brody was, I thought back then, man, you could probably do some money with him because obviously Flair did. But he obviously had the reputation of going into business for himself. And, it obviously, there's been a lot of talk about it. There's Dark Side of the Ring did an episode on him.
About his murder, his stab.
About his murder. And apparently his business sense or the way he conducted led to that murder, if you can read between the lines, so to speak. Talked to Dutch Mantell about that, and Dutch was in that episode, and Dutch was there. It's a terrible tragedy that I don't think I think we probably should talk about now and then, even though he wasn't a part of what we're doing.
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's become more of a conversation in the last 3 years because of Dark Side of the Ring than it ever has before. Because during the sort of internet age, it hasn't been a hot topic. Obviously, it was a big topic in the wrestling industry back when it happened, but that was all pre-internet. Now fans and just, people on the outside can really get a sense of, hey, what the hell happened? And it's funny that we're bringing this up now because as you and I are recording this just a week or so ago, Michael Hayes late one night just tweeted something like, how is it possible that we all know that Bruiser Brody was stabbed and nothing ever happened about it? And of course they had a trial, but the fix was in, so to speak. And
sure,
still to this day, it's gone unpunished. And I just think, if somebody stabs you in an AEW locker room, we'd be to the bottom of that in short order.
Because the internet age.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just,
I
mean, you're so over, you drink 5 times.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with this, dumbass. But here's the deal. In today's age, you can be charged, convicted on social media even before all the information is out there.
Well, what information are you getting these days from Puerto Rico?
Well, none.
Okay.
None. But I'm just saying I'm trying to say how things have changed in society since that time.
I hope you can't stab a guy and get away with it.
No, I hope you can't either. There's the flying burrito. I don't know if we could call it the flying burrito today or not.
I mean, is that what he called his move or not?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if he called it that, then we can too.
Okay. Are you trying to be a pissy little fuck?
Why don't we let our chief talk?
Okay.
I'm in a good mood today because I could be very angry, but he's going around telling me I got swamp fever and I have a big nose. Well, I've always had a big nose. Garvin, I played 10 years of pro football and I had my nose broken 11 times. That could have something to do with it. But a man's nose and his hair has nothing to do with it, Garvin. As far as you see in my nose, we've had one encounter. A man slipped up behind me and hit me with a chair in the back of the head. So he tells everybody how tough he is. He tells everybody he wants to wrestle a legend. Well, I'm telling you, out of the goodness of my heart, Jimmy Garvin, I've signed the contract and I'm going to wrestle you. And if you can beat me and back up everything you've said for 3 months when I wasn't here to face you, then more power to you. You deserve to be at the top of the ladder, but I hate that's like where you're going to be when I get through with you.
Chief Wahoo McDaniel with us on World Championship Wrestling and more right after this time out.
Have you ever heard the term swamp fever before?
It was one of Jimmy Garvin's lines. He'd throw out things about Wahoo, but I've never heard of it. No, unless it's
here's a Garvin promo right here.
TV title against Arn Anderson, the champion.
Well, first of all, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a professional wrestler. Professional wrestling has been my life. Of course, I'm still after Ric Flair, but there's a lot of other titles around, like the national heavyweight title, the world television title. And Arn Anderson has an open contract. I'm a hustler. I go out and hustle for what I want, for what I've got. So you can't lay down at home and think about, well, I want this, I want it. No, you got to go out and you got to do it, see? And every time there's a title on the line, there's an open contract that it's available for me to put my name on the dotted line, I'll be there. And Arn Anderson, you have an open contract, and you made a statement on TV, there is two kinds of people that have things and people that want things. Well, to have things, you got to want them. You're looking at somebody that wants it bad, you see, and I'm going to do it. Now, the James Crockett Memorial Cup, the only thing I can say about it is Magnum T.A and I got it together. You know what I'm saying? We got it together as a team. Thank you.
All right, Ron Garvin, man with the hands of stone. Let's go to the ring. In the ring.
And these Russians had some heat, did they not?
Yeah, man. Well, we're in the Cold War era, right? So they played on that quite well. Just like, back in the day, even years ago. I mean, who had the Nazi gimmick before?
Oh, Fritz von Erich was a Nazi.
Yeah, okay, and was so and they played on that. I mean, even with the Iron Sheik, right?
Oh, sure.
And playing on that and having Sergeant Slaughter turn into a sympathizer of that, all that stuff. I mean, that was just playing on what is topical. And what's weird is in this last decade of our country, you can't play on that anymore.
Why not?
You can't.
Why not?
Because of political correctness. You can't do that. You can't.
Oh.
You can't have characters. I mean, because you couldn't have a character represent the Chinese Communist Party, could you? On TV.
I don't know why not.
You couldn't. You absolutely could not, because we would be absolutely.
Would you get in trouble for that?
You would get in trouble. Don't you think you'd get in trouble for it?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Okay.
I mean,
so anyway, I think you would. But anyway, so you played on that. The Russians were hot. Nikita was obviously the biggest part of that. Ivan was a great worker, great talker. Was just tremendous Russian gimmick. But Nikita was the one that, because of his look and everything, he was the one that had the heat. And, as we know, during this era, he and Magnum are going to have their best of 7, which is it's been remembered through time, right? I mean, that's one of the things that's kind of stood the test of time in the Crockett era. So looking forward to that.
When we get done, I got to tell you about a DM I just got. I don't want to give I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah,
something wild has happened just since you and I've been together this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like what?
Okay. Screenshot it, send it to me. Because I'm off Twitter again.
Are you?
Yeah, I haven't been on Twitter in maybe 2 months. Nor Facebook, nor Instagram. My daughter just handles all that, and she's really, really doing a good job with it. So I don't get DMs. I don't know how many followers I have. It's just
good for you, dude.
Life is better when you don't have to get involved in all that drama.
I mean, I'm really happy for you that you're able to just say, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. And I do value people's opinion.
Not really.
Well, I mean, the trolls are out there. Some of the trolls are, I know what they are. So, but other than that, I stay away from it. And the sad part of that is I have basically my Facebook page is just for the people I went to high school with and people back home, but I've stayed away from that too. Let Hancock, Silva, Laurie Schiavone, whomever handle all that stuff. Not me. I'm fine here watching Zack Snyder's Justice League. Did you watch that 4-hour movie? No.
What's it about? Is it a documentary?
Yes.
Oh, I love documentaries. What's it about?
It's a documentary of one of the greatest comic book villains of all time, Darkseid.
It's that cartoon horse shit again. I'm not watching that. Is this like a Marvel thing?
You didn't. No, that's DC. You didn't watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier either.
Daniel Cormier's in it. Now I'm into that. Is it like a wrestling thing or MMA thing? Because Cormier's the man. I love DC.
Okay.
Did you see that the UFC is coming to Jacksonville? Their biggest gross ever. Sold out in less than 15 minutes. Things are getting back to normal, Tony.
Yeah, that's going to be. I'd probably be in this society front page news, wouldn't you think?
Oh, I'm so happy that it happened because it happened to George Masvidal, who was just at AEW, by the way.
Right.
Hanging out in his pink Versace robe. I still can't believe that guy was he's the top draw in the UFC besides Conor McGregor. He's at the show and y'all didn't show him on TV. He's just sitting on the floor hanging out.
Well, there you go. I had no idea who he was. It shows you that I don't watch that.
No, yeah, I know that. It's funny because there's a great friend of the show, Taz. I'm like, Taz, you need a picture with that guy. He's like, you think I'm a fucking mock? You want a picture with somebody? Connie, the last time I asked for a picture with somebody, because I fucking don't. I never asked for a picture with nobody. And I'm like, dude, he's the bad motherfucker champion. He's like, no, what is that? What is that? Is that one of your indie leagues? Is that something they do in like Indiana? They got a BMF champion? Yeah, sounds like the FTW. Why don't you go fuck yourself, Gotti? Like, no, dude, this guy's like the UFC BMF champion. He's like, what weight class is that, you dumb shit? I'm like, no, he won the world title in Madison Square Garden, and The Rock strapped it on him. Oh, this is a real thing, he says. Like, yeah. Okay, yeah. Hey, Jones, take a picture of me in this big motherfucker here. Yeah, in the pink robe. Yeah. You know, pink Versace Jones here. Give me a picture, Jeffrey.
That is probably the greatest Taz impersonation ever. It's not only the way he sounds, it's the pattern of his fucking voice.
Oh, here we go. Speaking of patterns of voices, promo of the year. Here we go.
World Heavyweight title, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and the Baby Doll.
You know, Tony Schiavone, Nature Boy Ric Flair's days are numbered. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, Tower Power, the whole wrestling world throughout the universe is eyes are focused in on New Orleans, Louisiana, and the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Whether he makes it there or not is not my concern. The thing is, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes will be there. Also in New Orleans, Louisiana tomorrow, you're going to have your opportunity, Arn Anderson, to try to get done what nobody's been done. Laid me out right there before many times, laid up, bad leg, bad ankle, still came back. Ole Anderson is yet to reappear on this television nationwide and make his statement about why he was laid out. Has yet to reappear. Tully Blanchard running around the national heavyweight title, knowing that Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, holds all the cards. Nobody in the world, nobody in the country, nobody anywhere, any place, any time, anyhow, doesn't like the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Let me tell you something, Double A Arn Anderson. Remember that the top part, Dusty Rhodes is here, walking with the most beautiful lady in the world. Every time we walk down that aisle, she looking so sweet. Marilyn Monroe up there in that great 100 grand in the sky, look down and say, only one was made like me. And not since Marilyn Monroe has there been a beautiful woman like Baby Doll. Got that bosom just as beautiful as can be going down there. Like two great pyramids in Egypt, Jack. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, is proud as punch. Double A Arn Anderson, prepare yourself for a broken jaw, broken leg, and a broken heart. Because broken hearts are dished out by Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Daily, whether it be man, woman, or child, beast that crawls this earth. Broken hearts are handed out by Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Titles are dictated by Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, and life is dictated by Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, because the American Dream lives in this country. I have no equal. I have only one thing, the greatest sports attraction in the country today, the greatest producing revenue product of the territorial super state throughout this country is Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. I like to tell my mama in Houston, Texas, and Dusty is so good today, and what's going to happen in New Orleans?
Well, I'll tell you what, Dusty, you know, you've got a lot of work to do in New Orleans the week before the tournament. We have a lot of personal appearances to make, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you that week off. I will make all of your appearances for you. I will make them in grand style, and whenever you fly in that Saturday morning of the tournament, I will have our personal stretch limo waiting for your Learjet at the airport.
Hey, in the words of the awesome Ric Flair, yeah.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, go to the ring.
All right, so we hear Hector Guerrero's music playing there, and you see in the ring, that's Carl Styles. Little known fact, that is in fact AJ Styles' uncle. And it's kind of cool to see the beginning of so many great wrestling families. We've seen Tejo Khan, of course, Tony Khan's uncle. Now we've seen Carl Styles, AJ's uncle. And would you believe it? Hector Guerrero is actually Eddie Guerrero's uncle. It's uncles here at 605.
Yeah. You know, you're so full of shit. You don't know what to believe from your mouth anymore. But
are
that's
you telling me Hector Guerrero is not Eddie Guerrero's uncle?
I'm talking about Carl Styles. You making up bullshit piece of shit.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me he doesn't like he's from Gainesville, Georgia?
He could be.
Okay, then what are we arguing about?
Well, I mean, if we saw a roly-poly guy named Thompson in there, will we say it's your cousin?
Of course we would. We're trying to entertain you, fucking goof. Hey, so how about that Dusty Rhodes promo where he described Baby Doll's breastises as pyramids? My God.
And she didn't even register it.
Didn't bat an eye.
That's because she was thinking about what she said, which, look, his promos were great. They were not as good with her in it.
Well, I like that one. It was like he knew I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
I talk very fast, and I'm going to spit all my shit. Here we go. Click record.
Little inside baseball there. The T-shirt that he wore, K97 FM, continuous hit country. That was an FM country station in Charlotte, North Carolina that I worked for part-time. I did morning sports for them. I was always doing something radio-wise, and so they had me do their morning sports, which was pretty cool.
Man, I love seeing just how the wrestling family heritage has progressed over the years. You can tell from watching that the Guerrero family are one of the premier wrestling families, and so are the Styles. I mean, you can see where AJ has really borrowed a lot from his uncle Carl here.
Yeah.
It's funny because here, I know you were saying that, he's a little thicker than AJ, but this is towards the end of Carl Styles' career, early in his career. and you have this well documented. He was known as Hot Carl.
Yeah, that's well documented. Randy Anderson also is a second cousin of Arn Anderson.
That's true. And
That's
not
true.
enough people
Yeah.
talk about that.
No, that's right. And look at Carl, man, with those right hands. Man, Carl, work a little bit, buddy.
I'm telling you, it's Alan Jones' uncle.
Carl could work a little bit, man. And Hector giving him some stuff as well. There you go. Not a good elbow drop. Put some height on your elbow drop. That's another thing I would tell kids. You go do an elbow drop, jump up a little bit, put some height on it. Also, go back to that angle with Nikita and Rocky King where they had the chain.
Yeah.
That we saw. The fans were electric. But also I'm thinking, good God, Nikita is green and he's got a chain in his hand. And the idea is with a chain, with a chain, you hit the
mat on the other side.
Right. And I was thinking that he did it quite well like the first time.
A couple of them hit him.
Yeah. I would be fucking
some licks there.
Yeah, I would be fucking petrified, man.
But in fairness, you're scared of your own fucking shadow.
Well, of course I am. That's just my nature.
Yeah, which is why it tickles me when you're giving critiques on how to throw elbows. I'm thinking, maybe you should just stick to promo advice.
I've seen enough elbows. You can see that elbow from Carl was not the best. Okay.
Here's the point. I want one day for you to just approach Eddie Kingston backstage and say, hey, buddy, you need to snug up them elbows. All right.
Oh, I'll do that in a minute.
If you want me to put it over. Oh, I know you would. Because can you imagine his face as you're telling him how to wrestle?
Yeah.
It would contort into 15 different shapes.
Yeah.
You ever see The Mask with Jim Carrey? That's what would happen. It would just change right in front of you. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Schiavone?
I've got so much time for Eddie Kingston. We could put him on this podcast and he would entertain us for 2 hours.
Well, that's what we're going to do. When they take all the tapes down, we're going to find as many Crockett folks as we can.
Yeah.
To talk to us, and we're going to do interviews with them. And if we run out, we're going to go to the man with the best eyebrows in wrestling, and we're going to talk about Crockett with him.
Yeah.
Because he is like a young Jim Cornette, in that I've often said Jim Cornette just reading the fucking newspaper or the phone book would be entertaining. Eddie Kingston would do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, on an episode of Being the Elite, they opened up with having like promo class. I don't know if you saw that. And they gave him a cookie. They said, Eddie, do a promo on this cookie. And he did. So, yeah, major talent. We have a great relationship, and I have a lot of time. Is this pre or post Lasertron?
This is pre-Lasertron.
Okay.
They're trying to just get him over here,
and
then they'll become Lasertron. He'll become Lasertron next.
Yeah.
Which I know you're pretty excited about.
Well, I like comic book / cartoon characters. I do. I like heroes. That's why doing this graphic novel was important to me, because that's what I like. For you, a graphic novel about you wouldn't have been about superheroes or something like that.
No, of course not.
No.
That'd be lame.
Yeah.
Hey, Lasertron. I don't think we talk about him enough. Hector Guerrero not only got to be Lasertron, but also the gobbledygooker. He was the gobbledygooker and Lasertron. Is there a better career in wrestling you know of?
Well, there's probably not a more memorable one.
I'm just saying, you want to talk about gimmicks.
Yeah.
My goodness. Fuck the Repo Man. What about gobbledygooker and Lasertron?
They built up gobbledygooker quite well, didn't they?
Oh my gosh. It was going to be the greatest thing ever.
Oh, look, Pez full heel here now. He's joining Paul Jones's army. Notice how a lot of times guys are, I don't know if they were late getting to the ring or what, but a lot of times we put guys in the ring already. And now they're slow to get in there.
I love Pez.
Did we miss an episode or two? I mean, Look how Paul Jones is dressed. Is this the first time he's dressed up like a?
He said he's starting an army. He's been telling us this for weeks.
Yeah, but yeah, there you go. He's changed his outfit.
Yeah, he's no longer dressed like a fucking lounge singer.
Right.
Now he's dressed like a commandant.
Exactly. And don't call him Pads, call him Shaska.
We need a Pez endorsement deal. I think a Tony Schiavone Pez thing. I bet we could probably draw 5 times what our original goal was, like you did over at buttsandseatscomic.com.
Thank you to everyone who was a part of that. We're just getting started, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What's next?
Well, the fact is that what's next is, everybody who's part of it's going to get their copy and their stretch goals and whatever. And it's going to end up being in stores and comic book stores. And, it's being distributed by Simon & Schuster now, because Simon & Schuster took over distribution of Source Point Comics.
Because they saw how over you were. They bought a whole company just so they could get the Tony Schiavone.
No. But anyway, yeah, a lot of good things are happening. And of course, it all started with me meeting you.
Oh my God. Why do you always do that?
Because it's true. Meet that day in the kitchen. I said, who the fuck is Conrad cocksucking motherfucking Thompson? Lois said, read the.
You were cussing me like that before you even knew me?
Yeah. And,
well, that's hurtful, Tony.
Well, the good news is I was right.
Wait, about motherfucking me?
Yes. Okay. Anybody deserves being motherfucked. It's you.
That's just rude.
Yeah, I know. I can be rude at times, and I don't want to be.
I've always been nice to you. I don't understand what.
Yeah, you have, Conrad. And let me, from the bottom of my heart, all of our people that listen to us on ad-free shows and WHW Mondays Patreon channel, from the bottom of my heart, with them behind me, let me say that I apologize to you, because you've been nothing but kind, never said a disparaging word about me.
Accurate.
Ever. So I apologize for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I feel like the barbarian here, that I'm just grumpy and gruff and throwing people around, and I shouldn't.
By the way, I want to mention later tonight, as this is being taped here on April 5th, you guys are going to be in Charleston, West Virginia. Draw $30,000 there. The next day, Johnson City, Tennessee, for a matinee show, $40,000 there. That night, you're in Savannah, Georgia, and you do pretty well there. Then in Gaffney, South Carolina, on the 7th, you're going to draw $89,000 in Gaffney, South Carolina. I couldn't even find it on a fucking map.
Oh my God. You know where Gaffney, South Carolina is?
Nobody listening to this does, Tony.
Oh, yes, they do. Everybody who's in that part of South Carolina and in Charlotte knows where Gaffney is. Gaffney is where the Big Peach is. The Big Peach.
Oh, well, shit. If there's a Big Peach there, no wonder you drew 89,000. They could, have a bit of a double header. You could go see some wrestling and a Big Peach.
There's a water tower along 85 North on that side.
There's one in Clanton, Alabama, too, with a Big Peach.
Well, where the fuck is Clinton, Alabama? No one knows.
It's where the Big Peach is.
It's where.
Are you not listening?
Gaffney, and not only that, not on the level of Boaz, but there are great outlet stores in Gaffney as well.
There ain't no outlets in Boaz. That shit quit being a thing 30 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Boaz has no outlets anymore?
We put Boaz in mothballs about the same time we did you. I thought that, and I was like, I had a smirk when I delivered it, because I was like, Tony's going to eat this one up.
So what's going on in Boaz, Alabama now?
Tumbleweeds.
I thought it was the place to be. There you go. I didn't know.
It was as a Ute.
Okay. All right. How about Somerville, Alabama?
Never been.
That's maybe I got where's the place? Where's
where it is, but I'm just saying I never been.
That's where the store is, right? The lost baggage store.
Oh, that's Scottsboro.
Scottsboro. Got it.
It's called Unclaimed Baggage. And
Yeah.
this is kind of a famous story we should tell everybody about. Here's the deal. You ever wonder what happens when an airline loses your bag? Well, if you don't work it out and you don't claim it, they sell it to a fucking middle of nowhere store in Scottsboro, Alabama, which actually touches Lake Gunnersville, where I graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go in there and just buy people's shit. This is real.
Yeah.
They open the bag and they find like your iPad or your iPhone. Well, they'll try to use the locate my whatever service and get it back to you. That's actually happened. I got a call. Someone found my iPad and they shipped it back to me. Now, you lose a pair of Ray-Bans, they gone. And Unclaimed Baggage will put it on the rack, and then you can go buy other people's leftovers. It doesn't surprise me that Tony Schiavone knows all about it because he's well versed in leftovers.
I've been there.
I've never been. It's right up the road from me, and I've never been.
I've been there because I'd heard about it. I wanted to check it out. And it's very apparent that the airlines, once it's unclaimed, or the airlines will sell this to these people. These people will open up the bags, look through it, take the good stuff for themselves, and then sell the junk.
So all there was junk when you were
Oh, man, it was nothing there.
You drove 2 hours for that? 3 hours?
No, I was on the way back from the Conrad Edison, and I stopped.
Oh my God, this is since we've known you?
Yeah.
This is embarrassing.
Why?
Tony, here's what I want you to do. The next time you go to a restaurant, when people stand up from their tables, I want you to go over, grab their scrap plate, bring it back to yourself, see if there's anything there that interests you. That's what we're talking about. You're eating people's leftovers.
Yeah. I didn't buy a damn thing. I just wanted to see it. Okay.
Well, then just go check out their plate. Just see what it is. You fucking weirdo. I would never go buy people's leftover shit. Anyway, if you have old ring used belts, please slide my DMs at hey it's Conrad.
Which, by the way, are prestigious leftovers.
No,
Oh yeah, they are.
That's what I'm joking about, buddy. I'm poking fun at myself.
Okay.
As I'm shitting on you for leftovers, I'm like, wait a minute, I bought 3 belts this week.
I don't know. I don't know.
Shut the fuck up right now.
I don't know why. I don't know why you go over and at people's plates and just stare at their leftovers.
What they get? I see why I didn't eat that. That didn't look very good. Hey, what'd you get? Let's slide that over. Let's see what you get.
Just stand at the table and stare at their leftovers. Person comes to bust the table. What the fuck are you doing, Sarah? Just staring at that bacon he didn't eat.
Yeah. Wondering why he didn't eat it. Why didn't he eat that bacon?
Oh God, we ought to do a knockoff of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's called What Happened When. Drops on Wednesday. You're looking at it.
A redneck version of it. Oh Lord.
Now there it is. Shaska gets the win. I like him as a part of this group. This works better than I thought.
Oh yeah.
Let's track it for a minute.
Let's watch Shaska, our pistol Pez, come in. Gets momentum off the ropes and headbutt. Your winner, Paul Jones and his army.
The World TV Champion Arn Anderson has a very, very tough title defense right here today.
Have you ever seen a nicer group of guys in your life? Probably not. On a serious note, Tony Schiavone, topic of discussion today, Ronnie Garvin, you come out here claiming to be a bad apple. Just a few short weeks ago, I gave you one chance at greatness right here on national television. Well, now I'm going to show you what kind of champion I've professed to be, Tony Schiavone. I don't come out here and flap my yap just to hear myself talk. You understand? When I won this title, I told you I'd be the greatest world television champion in history. I would come out here on national television, do what no champion has ever done, put my reputation, put my meal ticket on the line, week in, week out. Have I done that?
Yes, you have.
Against top contenders. Dusty Rhodes never did it. Everybody claims, well, you never beat Dusty for this title. This is mine, Rhodes. Don't put any claim to it because I've paid the price. This is mine. I've earned it. And if you want to take a good look at this face, take a good look at this face. I earn it every night. I'll fight them all, right from Wahoo McDaniels, Magnum, Manny Fernandez, right down to you, Dusty. You take a good look at this face. Ain't nothing pretty about me, but the fact is I'm an Anderson. It's inbred into me. I can't help being the fact that I am a man full of pride and guts. So, Ronnie Garvin, you want another shot right here on national television? I'm going to give you a sec. Shut your mouth. I'm going to give you one more shot at greatness. But when it's all said and done, I want all these people to shut up. I want everybody in this country of ours to realize I am the world television champion. I'm going to be the world television champion until I see fit to relinquish it. And once again, it's been your pleasure.
Don't go away. More action when we come back.
Man, Arn and Dusty both on fire today.
Yeah. You know, Arn was, I don't know why. He's
fire. Here's another one. Pause on Arn. We'll be right back on Arn.
Bob Jenkins out of Cincinnati. They ought to always go to the Gardens and enjoy the matches. Right to it. World Championship Wrestling, 1250 South, International, Atlanta, 30303. We'd love to hear from you of announcements of anniversaries, 50 years or more, and also happy birthday to Daryl Nicholas, having a birthday today, Linda Batson, and also to Russ Wheeler, who's with us here today, and a group from Tunnel Hill, Georgia. His father, Rob Wheeler, works here at WTBS, and they're celebrating their birthday. There they are, here today with us on World Championship Wrestling. All the best stars in the world are here today.
I am so happy today, Tony. Not even all these sideshow freaks in the studio audience can put me out of my good mood. I told everybody that I was going to be manager of the year, and I was. I told everybody that the Midnight Express were going to be World Tag Team Champions, and they were. I told everybody that Denny Crum was going to lead the University of Louisville Cardinals all the way to the top, the pinnacle, the NCAA championship, and the prophecy came to pass. He did, and now I'm saying, like I have been, that the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette are going to the top in that Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament. And Tony, if we win this one, they're going to burn me at the stake for being a witch, because I got supernatural powers. I know what's going on. I can foretell fortunes. And let me tell a couple of fortunes while I'm at it. Road Warriors, your future is looking very, very dim. You know, all the letters we get to World Championship Wrestling, the only match that the people want to see more than the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, is the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express, because Road Warriors been running all around mouthing off. The people think they're unbeatable. The people think they're the ones that can take the Midnight Express. Well, let me tell you something, Road Warriors. I hate to be the one to pop your bubble, but the Rock and Roll Express were unbeatable until we beat them. And you've been unbeatable so far, but we're going to clean your clock. The match is going to take place. And, you know, I understand, I have it on good authority. The Russians got a hold of your brains. Paul Ellering up there in Baltimore, Maryland, and they fixed him up real good. I think he's out of the picture for once and for all. So, Road Warriors, that leaves you without a brain, because let me tell you something, Tony. If brains were gasoline, the Road Warriors couldn't propel a Flea's motorcycle around a raindrop. They're stupid. You can put all that paint on, all that leather on, and all those spikes on, but until you got those World Tag Team Championship belts around your waist, Road Warriors, you're just another couple of muscle-bound clowns that look like the board of directors of a massage parlor someplace, wandering around the street without a title, without nothing. Midnight Express, thank you. I promise that, because you may be big and strong, but the Midnight Express are lean, mean, slick, quick, and a whole lot sneakier, Road Warriors. And we are going to destroy the legend once and for all. And then the Rock and Roll Express, they still want, wait a minute, they still want to get our belt.
What a great promo.
Yeah, man.
Board of directors at a massage parlor.
Couldn't propel a Flea's motorcycle around a raindrop.
That's a reference I don't get.
I don't either. That's just how little of gasoline they had in their head.
A Flea's motorcycle
around the raindrop. That's small.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah, it's a deep cut. There you go. Well, I shouldn't have interrupted him, but here's the Rock and Roll Express, man.
Chat me up about Arn Anderson. You were going to say something before JC came in.
I just, when Arn came out and the guys that are like that, you know, I just, my focus now, it wasn't back then. My focus now is looking at the marks on their forehead. My God. Yeah. I mean, him, Magnum, Tully, Dusty, Flair.
Can you imagine, like, let's pretend you're you have no concept of professional wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
but you're like athletic and you want to learn. Maybe you're like a Lex Luger, right?
Okay.
So you've had a pro and semi-pro football career, and you're bodybuilding now, and you look great, and you get recruited, and they say, okay, here's the deal. If you'll buy your own gear and pay for your own training
Mm-hmm.
and learn to have incredible wind,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have you do, I don't know, 2,000 Hindu squats.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to show you how to throw yourself on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and it not hurt. Now it's going to hurt, but you'll get used to the hurt. You'll get callous to the hurt.
Yeah.
But if you can just learn how to throw yourself on the ground, and we'll make sure that after you get your first or second concussion, you figure it out. Then we want you to shave your whole body and grease yourself up.
Grease yourself up.
What? Well,
I'm glad you threw that line in. Just grease yourself up. Go ahead.
Grease yourself up.
Because somebody's coming from behind. Go ahead.
Then you're going to go out here, and there's going to be a guy who is going to also pretend to fight you. Now, occasionally he's going to punch you real hard in the face, and you're just going to have to get used to that.
Right.
And then when it's all done, we're going to pay you in cash. Not very much, but if you'll get in your car and you'll drive 600 miles tonight, we'll let you do it again tomorrow.
Right.
Now, next week, we're going to plan on moving you up the card, which means that whatever pay you've been getting, we're going to pay you a little more, but we're going to need you to go to the Walgreens and get a razor and then learn how to break it in half. And we're going to teach you to carry it in your lip. And then when nobody's looking, we want you to take that razor out of your lip, drag it across your forehead, and spill your own blood. And then when you're done, just go in the back, hose off, jump back in the car, 600 miles to the next town, and we'll do it all over again. And we love it, Tony. I'm not disparaging it. We fucking love it.
Right.
When we think about what these guys did on a day-to-day basis, my God.
Oh, yeah.
I have respect for that. Like,
yeah.
Nothing about that seems appealing to me.
No. You would think, okay, I'll do something else.
I'll just stick mortgages. I'm just going to do this.
Right.
But then you recognize that that's what these guys did day in and day out. And it's because they loved it. And what do they love to do? They love to entertain us.
Sure.
Like I hold this profession in such high regard because, man, it's really hard to sell it. You know what I mean? When you just break that down to a layman and you're like, so wait a minute, I'm doing what now?
Yeah.
I don't know that I want to do that.
Right. Well, and then you look at the guys who are on here. It's not to say any disparaging words about the guys who don't have blade marks on their head, because these guys worked hard too. And I get that. But the guys who had blade marks on their head were the top tier. Yes. And not only that, they wanted to make it so believable that they would go to the extent of cutting themselves that much.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, it's very apparent now. You can just, kind of gig yourself above the hairline and it can bleed, and it can bleed enough. But back then that wasn't good enough, man. I'm going to cut my fucking self open. We're going to make sure these people are entertained. We're going to make sure this looks good. And that was Arn Anderson, Magnum T.A., obviously Dusty through the years, Flair, Tully, top tier, man.
Yeah.
Top tier. So there you go. Yeah. It's in many ways, it's, I know one of the reasons you love it, and everybody who joins us on ad-free shows and Patreon and listens to us on Westwood One, that's why they love it. That's why I love it. It's, I've often said, and back then it was even more so because of kayfabe back then. It's more than athletics. It's an art form.
Right.
It really is. And
I totally agree that it's an art form, which is why, it's not in the Olympics. It's art.
Yeah. Well, first of all, boy, you'll get me on the tirade again here.
Here we go.
Great tag team match we just saw from these two men, Robert and Ricky, the Rock and Roll Express.
How about those t-shirts, baby?
Yeah, let's sell some.
Somebody, two men do not back down to Ric Flair.
That's right, Tony. The day is getting closer at Jim Crockett Single Memorial Cup. Plus $1 million. Me and Rick have been training very hard. We've been going over a lot of tapes, studying all these teams that will be in the tournament. $1 million Put a lot out in everybody right there. Me and brother Rock Rhodes here to stay. We're going to do one thing, Tony. Walking away with $1 million in it. Nice.
That's right, Tony. One thing for Jimmy Cornette, brother. Let me tell you, rock and roll ain't never gonna die. We're gonna be on your back, brother, to put those belts back around our waist. Now again, Tony, we gotta say something about Mr. Ric Flair. You know, my hat's off to the gentleman because he has beat every professional wrestler there is today because he is still the world's heavyweight champion. But one thing, Ric Flair, you come out here and you put us down, and as you see the tape right here, one whack, Tony, I knocked him, pulled off his feet. He goes, here we go. He wants to fight. I give him something to fight about. You know, there's not too much I can do about him jumping on me, but there's a lot I can do to get him off, as you can see right here. He might be right here. There you go, right there, Mr. Ric Flair.
Obviously, Ricky, he was not expecting you to do this to him.
Look at the fear in his eyes here, Tony, because he didn't know. He didn't know what he got a hold of right here. I told you right here, Ric Flair, don't you ever put your hands on me again. And as you can see, he did. Now, every goal to professional wrestling is to be a world's champion, no matter if it's tag team or no matter if it's single. But for one or another reason, is that I'm there, Ric Flair. I'm at the top of the charts, right where you are. You might have the belt around your waist, but I'm up there beside you. Now, this right here is for all these nice people out here and for myself. Because, brother, when you step in the ring with Rick Morton, you're going to know one thing, that you've been in one hell of a fight.
New Orleans, we're getting ready.
All right. Hey, all right. Let's go to the ring.
Man, they were popping for Magnum. It overwhelmed what Ricky was trying to say there.
Yeah. We've talked about how disconcerting that could have been. It didn't bother me at that time. To me, it was all part of the ambience of what we were doing. Just having the fans make noise was good. And I think that's why they brought them out. Good or bad. Now, as we know, it's kind of disconcerting, but good or bad, it was good back then. So, there's your belly to belly. So that's the end of that.
Man, a Magnum T.A. match was like hooking up with Tony Schiavone in '81. It wasn't going to last long.
Hey, we were trying to compare pro wrestling to the Olympics. Yeah. I want to go on an Olympic tirade here. Can I?
Oh, God. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, let's listen to Paul Jones first.
No, do we really want to?
Yeah, because we got Shaska Watley with him.
Okay. I was going to say we should at least track it for Shaska, but
yeah,
if I never hear another Paul Jones promo, it'd be fine. Here we go.
The Army, General, is complete. You may assume that I have something to say. And I want to say one thing. I understand Dusty Rhodes is in New Orleans tomorrow. And I understand Arn Anderson and Ric Flair like this. And I know one thing, Dusty. I know that Arn Anderson can be bought, and you may never make the tournament. My Army is going to march through New Orleans, and when we get to the other side, we're going to have the cup with us. Now my Army is complete. I am ready for 1986 war, and the war is on Jimmy Valiant. I have Baron von Raschke. I have T.J. Khan and the Barbarian. And you people see something that was planned from the mastermind, me. When right here, the man that you know is Pistol Pez Watley, the new addition, the man that infiltrated Jimmy Valiant's camp. I know everything that he has planned. I know one master plan he has that I won't even mention because it's so far out, so far ridiculous. It's a bunch of baloney. And now, here's the man right here, the new Shaska that completes the Army.
What have I got here? What have I... Oh, look at here! Look at here! It's not what it is! It is Jimmy Valiant's horse hair! Let me tell you something, Jimmy Valiant! You is a low-down, dirty yellow dog! Just like this hair is yellow! And tell you, just like it was, we got some more tricks for you in '86 with the rivals. And another thing I want you to understand, Boogie Woogie, if you think the war is over, you got another thing coming. The war has just begun. Let me tell you something, Jimmy Valiant. Who's zooming? Who's sucker? Shut up, Tony Schiavone. You ain't had nothing to say. All you hillbillies out there, get ready. The boss right here. Is it gonna get you? And I'm gonna tell you another thing. You Nighthawk, keep talking that stuff. You ain't nothing but a walk-up
Tom anyway, and everybody knows it. From now to me, you are UT. I'm gonna tell you what, Jimmy Valiant, ain't nothing I hate worse than a black Uncle Tom. It's a white Uncle Tom, and that's what you is, a white Uncle Tom, Jimmy Valiant.
I said it, I command it, and it shall be done in 1986 because the Army is complete and we're moving forward.
What the fuck did we just see? That looks like a cartoon.
It does.
I mean, I feel like they're about to jump out against Hulk Hogan on Saturday morning, that rock and wrestling cartoon or whatever.
It would have been a great Army against him, wouldn't it have been?
Would have been. How about now? We're getting a real match here, Bubba.
Yeah, it's kind of a return match between these two, and I'm glad to see it.
Absolutely. So anyway, you hate the Olympics or something?
Yeah, the Olympics used to be tremendous, and then they got involved in. Then they started bringing professional athletes in it, and do you know why they started doing that? Yeah, television revenue. So the Olympics became such a great sporting event with amateurs, and now it's nothing but a fucking money grab. That's all it is. If you look at anything throughout time and say what became throughout time a piece of shit, it's the Olympics. It is nothing but a fucking money grab for TV ratings.
So
do you know why the Olympics threw baseball out?
No.
They threw baseball out because baseball was not going to stop their season like hockey does, stop their season to send guys to the Olympics. They wouldn't do that. So the Olympics says, well, baseball is really not a good sport. Well, it's not a good sport because they wouldn't cow down to your money grab. That's all it's about. Don't give me, it's bullshit. I hate the Olympics, detest it.
And if there's anything you and I can agree on, it's that we hate money grabs. By the way, I want to briefly mention here, buttsandseatscomic.com is the place to go if you would like to hear the Tony Schiavone story. I know you could hear it here for free, and fuck, you have for 4 or 5 years at this point. But wouldn't you like to have something to put on your shelf? You know, it was okay. Well, we've got it. It's available right now. It's not a money grab at all. buttsandseatscomic.com.
No. All the proceeds will be donated to one of my favorite charities, Mike Dawkins.
Dude, we got to come up with something, you know?
I know. It's like I met Mike Dawkins. I think it was the second Starrcast, maybe third or second, what? Second. Okay. And we had dinner with him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at that time how big a part of my life he would be, or how much of my money he would take.
All of it. He'll take all of it.
But found out quickly, didn't we? Whew.
The best part is he frames it like it's your idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what's also cool is, I'd like to just examine this for a moment, if you would indulge me.
Mm-hmm.
Are patent attorneys real attorneys? I don't think so.
No, they just go to their assistant and their paralegal and say, send out this and send out that, and go back and watch YouTube videos at the desk.
I think in order to be like an attorney, you have to like know a lot about the law. I think in order to be a patent attorney, you just got to be like really good with Microsoft Word. You know?
Exactly.
If you got Microsoft Word and a thesaurus, you too can be a patent attorney.
There you go. And make a lot of money. And on another note, a serious note, Mike Dawkins was the guy who put all this together, this graphic novel.
Absolutely. He is the person who put together the whole operation for this, shyster outfit that we've got here now over at buttsandseatscomic.com.
Shyster?
Yeah, I'm just saying, listen.
You're calling me a shyster?
If we're not shilling my Starrcast horse shit, we're selling your fucking stupid comic books. Like,
wow.
That's what we do. No, I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Well, you said stupid fucking comic books because you hate superheroes and you hate.
I hate them so bad. You're exactly right.
Needless to say, you have not watched The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus.
Buddy, I don't.
Yeah, you didn't watch
what those words mean individually, but when they touch like that, I have no idea what you're even talking about.
You didn't watch WandaVision.
I had a great Aunt Wanda, and she was tremendous. She had like the best cheesecake around, probably the best cook I ever knew, which is weird because my mom always told me you could never trust a skinny cook. And my mom probably said that because she was fat herself. But Aunt Wanda, she could cook her ass off, but she's no longer with us. God rest her soul.
Okay. You need to get it.
If she's on this WandaVision, I'd really like to see that. Oh, wait, is that Jamie Foxx? Is he doing his old character, Wanda?
No.
Because if Shanae's in it, I'm fucking in.
No.
No Shanae. Okay.
No. You just, man. You just missed the boat, buddy.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, no, you didn't. Look at that, man. You talk about people throwing themselves down. It's going to hurt. I was thinking about when Ric Flair was slapped by Ricky Morton, how he fell down on,
you know what's funny? When you go back and you watch that clip of Rick taking that bump, he went to throw himself down, but realized, hey, I'm going to hit this podium. He adjusted his fall midway to make sure that he didn't fall on anything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think Gallows had a song years ago. Daddy was a fall down man. It's quite a skill to learn how to do that.
I didn't know Doc Gallows sang.
No, I think his buddy did, but I think he helped write the lyrics because, as you know, Gallows is a fall down man.
Whew.
But I think the gimmick is when you get past like 6'5", you get to fall down a little less.
Yeah.
So like you at your stature, you'd be flying all over the place.
Yeah, I get that.
Hey, can I tell you that I got something kind of major happening this weekend?
Please.
Actually, I guess it's next weekend.
Okay.
Pondwater Dave's coming to visit. Yeah, let me just tell you, let me give you a spoiler. Megan is not exactly happy about this.
Has Pondwater Dave ever met Lauren Yaffe in person?
I hope not. There's going to be paperwork involved when it does.
Okay.
Pondwater Dave, just to give you some context for those of you who are listening who don't know him, he's the type of guy who would get his stimulus check from the government, take it to the worst strip club you've ever seen, and find a toothless wonder in there, and he'd get about 5 Miller High Lifes deep and start pitching her on how he's ready to take her away from all this. That's Pondwater Dave.
God bless him. You, if nothing else, you've opened my eyes to
quite a cast of characters.
Lord have mercy.
What if I told you there was a television show in development right now about that cast of characters?
Would not surprise me.
That's happening. Hey, I also want to mention too that Dave Milliken, famed belt maker, he has the best Pondwater Dave impression of all time.
Wow.
And I will do it for you before the show goes off the air today. But if I do it right now, then you'll be ready for it and it won't be as funny.
Yeah.
But if I just hit it later, just out of the blue, you'll appreciate it much more.
These two guys are tearing it up here, buddy, as we would expect.
Yeah. And I would love to see right now in 2021, the real life Taz take on the real life Arn Anderson. Who would you put your money on?
Wow. I don't know. Taz pretty much of a shooter. Arn Anderson was a worker.
I still think Arn's got him.
Okay. Maybe I'll try to draw that up backstage next time I'm in Jacksonville.
And just set your phone up where I can see. Just record it and send it to me. I would love to see them go back and forth.
Did just say, all right, Taz, Arn, just hypothetically, Conrad and I were talking on an edition of an episode of WHW. And Arn Anderson in his prime and Taz in his prime, who would go over and why? And just set up the phone and have them talk back and forth.
Oh my God.
Wouldn't that be great?
Tremendous.
There, you know, one of the things that's great about what I do is stories backstage,
right?
Not stories that are happening in current time, but stories that the guys are telling.
Yeah.
And we've also discovered now that Paul White is one of the best storytellers in the world backstage.
Dude, he has incredible delivery.
Yeah.
He knows. I don't know if it's from just hanging in locker room all these years or if he just was born with it, but
Yeah.
he has incredible delivery.
Yeah. And he is doing such a wonderful job with the young talent. These kids hang on his every word. And backstage, he knows it, and he'll tell stories, and he'll talk to them about that. He really is doing a good job of being a mentor to these kids. Really a great job. Some guys, some guys are good at it. He's the best at it. I've seen him. He'll even talk to kids when we do elevation. He'll even talk to kids as the match is over, and we're going to the next match. As they're walking back, he'll talk to them, ask them how they're doing. I mean, he is just so into their careers, and it has just been wonderful to have him with us. It's such a great hire for more than just, on camera reasons.
Right.
Yeah. And I didn't know this side of Paul. I did not. I completely missed the Big Show career. I did. I remember the Giant, right? So I didn't, and now he's a completely different person than I remember. But he certainly got an education, man.
He went from breaking in to being in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. He sure did.
What a cool career he had too. This is a guy who had a match with Floyd Mayweather at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I know some of our listeners can, say blah, blah, blah. But as far as the mainstream,
right,
that's a pretty big deal, man.
Yeah. Had his own series on Netflix.
Yeah.
His own sitcom.
He knows a thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah, he does. Just wow. What a hire.
It makes you wonder too, and I'm not trying to shit on, that's not my deal here, but how does WWE let him get away? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know if that says more about WWE or just the nature of relationships, that just
sure.
Eventually both sides maybe just get to where they're like, oh, this is so exhausting. Whatever. You know what I mean? Just
yeah. Because he's bigger than life, literally.
Yeah.
And he and I were talking about this the other day. I was telling him the story. It's a Heenan story, and I think we're getting ready to have some sort of finish here. Yeah, there you go.
Let's track it.
Okay, that's it. There's been a disqualification because of Blanchard running in, David.
Tell us, put the boots to him. What are they going to do to him?
It's that double gourd buster. Oh, no!
What are they going to do? They're trying to position him for something.
Ron Garvin's out. Look at him.
They're trying to position him. Look, what are they going to do? Oh! He using his boot.
On that right
hand.
Well, Arn Anderson is still the world TV champion.
Down there. You want someone to take on Double A in my shirt? Garvin, you use that illegal fist. Never again. Never again. You saw to it. We saw to it. The fist of stone is out of commission forever.
Simple as 1, 2, 3. There's your team for the cup.
Yeah, well, it was a team that ended that. We're coming right back.
I like that.
I like that angle, man.
That was good.
That's one of the reasons the Horsemen were who they were, man. They were just vicious, and they knew what to do, and they went to here we go.
Another Jim Cornette promo.
Yeah, why not?
That's good enough. That's good enough. What about them University of Louisville Cardinals, huh? My hometown team, Denny Crum, led them all the way to the top, the NCAA champions, greatest in college basketball. And now that's inspired me to go out and lead my men, the Midnight Express, on to victory in that Jim Crockett Senior Memorial Cup tournament. And I'm looking so forward to it. And Rock and Roll Express, you want those belts back real bad, and it's getting desperate because it's almost time for that tournament, and you want to go in there as champions. Well, let me tell you something, punks. You will never get the World Tag Team Championship back from the Midnight Express because we're your worst nightmare. We're what you dread. We are what you loathe to get in the ring with because we're the mirror image of you. We're the dark to your light. We're the bad to your good. We're the opposite of everything that you stand for. When you get in the ring with the Midnight Express, it's just like wrestling the dark side of yourselves. And that's something you're never going to be able to overcome, Rock and Roll. So do whatever you think that you can. But I promise you this, the Midnight Express are the World Tag Team Champions for once and for all. That includes the Road Warriors. That includes America's team. That includes anybody else in that tournament. You know there's a lot of tough teams. The Fantastics, Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers. Everybody knows down in Texas the kind of things that went on between us and them. The fabulous ones, Steve Kern and Stan Lane, they're in the tournament. A lot of people in Tennessee remember a couple of matches between the Midnight Express and the fabulous ones. All kind of teams. Speaking of Tennessee, Billy Superstar Dundee, Nature Boy Buddy Landell, Magnum T.A, and Ronnie Garvin, the most offensive team in professional wrestling. But I don't care who it is, because the Midnight Express is the greatest, and we're going to come out $1 million richer, and we're going to come out with that cup. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the team that has struck fear in the hearts of more men than Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby the Midnight Express.
How about that little deep cut in entertainment?
That was a deep cut. I as a fan, as a wrestling fan, I was really, I think I've said this before, really excited about seeing the Fantastics. I'd never seen them before, never seen the Fabulous Ones before, heard of them, read about them in the quote unquote after magazines, and was really pretty excited to be able to see them that I'd never seen before. I don't think I don't think the Sheep Herders had appeared for us as of the yet. So all that was good stuff. I was really excited about this tournament. Really, really was. Now, what were we talking about before the angle hit?
How much you love me and how great I was and all that.
Yeah. Okay. That's right. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
So we got Danny Brown and Mike fixing to take a look in here. And then to go off the air, the Koloffs are going to address Magnum T.A.
Maga T.A. Which, by the way, I need to mention, Shatoata, is it now a shirt?
It is a shirt over at boxinggimmicks.com. And I can't believe it's a real thing, but yes, from Russia with love is the way we promoted it. And Shatoata is a shirt. Maybe one of the better ones too.
Yeah. Let me ask you that. I saw that. Is that really Shatoata, or is that just a funky Ryan bullshit thing?
You can also see it at lowestrules.com because we got lots of new, I guess we should mention that. We've got Weasel Slapper.
Oh boy.
Straight Cold Babyface.
Oh.
Spin Your Pleasure. Legends aren't made, legends are born. Rendezvous Master. It's good and there's a lot of it. Blanchard Travel Agency. Shatoata. Hell Person. Mock. Night Shitter. Yeah, okay. So they're not all winners.
Well, Night Shitter is.
I would love to see. Actually, I need to get Megan one of those. Can you imagine?
Shitter.
That would be really funny if we had like people over and she said, well, I'm going to go get ready for bed. I'll be right back. And then she comes out and she's wearing a t-shirt that says Night Shitter. Cassio would just be like, okay, it's time to go. That's our cue. We'll get our things together now.
Hey, I need to ask this because we had a Patreon Zoom recently, chat. Really, really great talking to these guys and gals. I was told that Rotten Crotch has lost a lot of weight.
Ton of weight. He's down a lot of LBs. He's been chasing Pokemon. And as a result, I think he's lost like 100 pounds or something.
That's tremendous. And which blew me away, Cassio Kid is losing weight.
Cassio Kid's lost like 30 pounds, which he has joked about because he's had people ask him this now multiple times. Even though he's lost 30 pounds, they would say, hey man, did you get a new shirt? So when you're a big boy, you can lose 30 pounds and people just think, oh, he must have got a new shirt.
Yeah. It's like, as the old line was, like throwing a deck chair off the Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Right.
But no, he's been doing it all year. And, the doctor told him, hey man, if you don't drop some LBs, you might have to get on some blood pressure medicine. So he said, oh no, I don't want to do that. Let me drop some LBs. And he got busy. And of course his wife is super supportive of that. She's like a fitness guru. And so Cassio's the incredible shrinking man right now. Shout out to Cassio too. He's got some family stuff going on. His dad is not in the best of health right now. and they're trying to get him to turn the corner. So a lot going on right now, and we hope that all of our people are in a good place.
Yeah, because we rag on them. Well, you rag on everybody, but we rag on them, but they are our friends, and we have a good time with them. They make us laugh. They entertain us.
Yes, sir.
And I realized very quickly that's why you always have them at the Con Radisson for entertainment purposes.
What does that mean?
So you can laugh at them.
Oh, so, why are you being mean?
Because it's true. I don't know.
I disagree with everything.
Okay. Alabama Jam Time or the Big Splash?
Alabama. No, the knee drop.
How about that?
Top rope knee drop Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really disappointed that you think that way of me.
Yeah, you should be.
That I want to just make fun of my friends when all I do is celebrate my friends.
No. I didn't say you make fun of them. You just laugh. Just have a chuckle.
Oh yeah, I like to have a good time. I'm sorry.
Right.
I
You
know
do.
that was not a cool thing.
Yeah. No. It's a cool thing. And I get it, you know. You and I have different things that we enjoy for entertainment. I like comic books, buttsandseatscomic.com, and cartoons, and you don't.
And you like cash grabs?
And I also like Nikita Koloff.
There we go.
Magnum T.A. Yeah, he come on attacking Nikita, and now you bad Magnum T.A. Or you bad in your mind, but knowing your heart. Nikita bad in the heart. You put the chain around Nikita's neck. Magnum T.A. Maybe you take a look at Nikita's neck, huh? You think you're going to hurt? You think you're going to hurt? Take a look at Nikita's neck. 22 inches now. You think a chain is going to hurt? Maybe you get a chain of saw. You want to hurt Nikita. Menyadin, Diadin, we Stoadin, Magnum T.A. You see, Magnum T.A., we know now why you go on the offensive, why you attack nephew Nikita, why you hang him with the Dote. You tried to injure him so you could save United States heavyweight title. But you see, nephew Nikita is too strong, too well conditioned. You cannot hurt him, and it's too late for you. Contract is signed. Whenever your wrist is locked to one end of chain, nephew Nikita at the other end, and he starts beating on you, destroying you, injuring you, and then grabbing you by the wrist, dragging you around the ring, touching all four corners consecutively to humiliate you and to gain victory. But most of all, to injure you so the Jim Crockett Sr. Memorial Cup Tag Team Tournament, your team will not be able to enter. Just like you Road Warriors. Yes, whether it's chain or whether it's cage match or six-man tag team, you will not be in tournament either. I can just see Jim Crockett tournament cup alongside the six-man tag team cup.
We have to go, and we'll see you next week on World Championship Wrestling.
I've got more to say.
I don't know why, but I've been saying, I've got more to say.
It's good, isn't it?
As it's going off, it's hilarious. Well, boys and girls, this was fun. I don't know how much longer we'll get to keep doing this, but we sure have had a blast talking about 1986, and we're going to keep that conversation going even when the network goes kaput, just like Tony's career did way back in 2001. But we'll be back, and we're going to keep this trend going once the network is back up. But in the meantime, we'll find lots of other 1986 stuff to hang our hat on, and worst comes to worst, we'll just go back to our old format and just make fun of old wrestling and have a little fun. And when this thing comes back, I want to keep it going. I've had a blast talking about Crockett with you, Tony.
I've had a blast too. And we encourage not Conrad, because Conrad's are friends with the people in the front office in the WWE. I encourage you to send emails, phone calls to them, to their digital department. If in fact they still have one, they may have fired everybody by now, to the old stuff, the nostalgia stuff. We're talking about the territories, WCW, ECW, the hidden gems, the old primetime wrestling, the old wrestling challenge, the old superstars. All of that stuff needs to stay on the network and be a vital part of the network, because the network is wonderful. It really is, for many, many things. And one of the things it's wonderful for is remembering the past that we should never forget. And that's kind of what we do here.
And Tony needs it so he can continue to shield his cash grab, which is buttsandseatscomic.com. Of course, the Olympics have a lot in common with Tony Schiavone. They're all about the dollar bills, y'all. So get Tony paid more.
Exactly.
He's not making enough of that sweet Tony Khan money.
I do need to say that you go through an education process as you age and as you grow. My father, who was a truck driver, and my mother, who worked at a grocery store, never taught me the value of a cash grab. Right. And it wasn't until 2017 when I met Conrad Thompson.
It all became crystal clear. And now he's got more than he knows what to do with. And right now, Tony, it feels like it's about that time.
Coming out of the tunnel is Tony Schiavone with comic books in hand, and he also has Dave Sobel with him, and they are getting ready to go to the ring, and they are getting ready to sell some comic books, so all the fans are ring. Wait a minute. Out of the tunnel, here comes this ball-headed figure. It is Mike Dawkins. Mike Dawkins is coming up to Schiavone, and oh my goodness, the money bag that they got that's been stuffed with cash goes right over to Mike Dawkins, and he walks away. Looks like we have to sell some more comic books next week, and until then, we will see you on What Happened When on Wednesdays on Westwood One, and on Mondays we come to you exclusively on
Patreon.com/WHW Monday, and of course, adfreeshows.com.
What happened to Patron, fucker?
Oh yeah. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.